the beautiful bell, the bell of the Jamaica Labour Party. Let me see the show of fingers wave right across.
Shout, 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 shout.
Because we are a party. We have put in the work. We stand on a record of performance. And we have an amazing party leader in whom we are most pleased and in whom we are proud. The 4 parishes that constitute Area Council 2, the 18 constituencies, we are ready. We are ready. And we stand in solidarity with our party leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness. And labor rights, as we bring on our party leader, we want to send a message that he's anointed and appointed. Now come on. Yes, labor rights, leader. Yes, Sanjay, Area Council 2, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, leader of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Labor rights! Labor rights! Showers of blessings to you and your household. You will agree with me that Carencia has certainly grown into the master of ceremonies. She has done an amazing job, and I wish to commend her for her management of the stage and the progress of the program. We are considerate that many of you have traveled from very far and you have been here for a long time. And while it may be fun and you are enjoying, you are still waiting to be fed knowledge, to be edified. So when you go back to your communities, it is a fulfilling experience for you to share with the others who may be skeptical of this process of you leaving where you are, putting on your t-shirt and coming to hear us. So when you come here, it's not only about the greetings and the shower, but you would have heard things that you can identify with, that you feel that it would have made you better and justify your journey here with us. And so we have taken that into consideration, and our meetings are designed for that, so that you leave here fulfilled. I want to commend the chairman of Area Council 2, Everard Warmington, for constantly having this gathering. He has done this on a regular basis for his area council, and it has worked out very well. And I want to commend him. Indeed, this is almost entirely his vision. And I dare say, though I don't have his permission to say it, his expense. Where is Everard? Come up, Everard. Where is Everard? Anyway, I've had a conversation with Everett, and you notice that tonight he made a deliberate attempt to stay on his script. And so it is in the era of politics that we are. When we speak here, and I'm speaking to several thousands of people here, But when you take all the independent broadcasting that is taking place, I'm looking at several phones pointed at the platform, and they are all reaching hundreds and thousands of people independently being broadcasted. So every speech you make is being broadcasted and is cutting across various segments of the population. There are some people who won't take offense to some things that you say, but there are others that will. And some politicians will calculate, all right, who am I going to offend and who am I going to gain? That is what you call the popularity game. As leader of the country, I don't have that luxury to play the popularity game. I still have to serve all publics, all people of Jamaica. And no matter what is said and what is done, ultimately, I am the standard bearer for the standards of the country and the society, and I cannot compromise that. So, my brothers and sisters in Christ, it is a blessing to be gathered here in Harbour, not just as members of a political movement, but as people of faith, united in the belief that God is sovereign over all things, including politics and governance. There are things that I will readily admit that it is not within my control. And politics, it is like liquor. When you drink too much of it, you get drunk. And people get drunk on power. But even the fumes of power can get you drunk. Some people have gotten drunk on just the fumes of power. We are reminded tonight that even on the political platform, the standards of righteousness must not be lowered. Our politics must reflect the wholesomeness of our people and the spiritual values that we must uphold as a nation. You know, we live in a time where the modern thought is that we are all free to do what we want to do. In other words, there are persons who would want you to feel that freedom of choice, freedom of expression, the freedoms that we have means that there is no standard. There is no value. And unfortunately, value has been reduced to what you can buy, meaning that we confuse the value of morality with the value of money. And even political parties sometimes get into that game where we seek to make commitments and promises about how much money you're going to get. And not enough time is spent on how we're going to truly improve the quality of your life, how we're going to make you better, happier, spiritually whole and sound, more peaceful, more caring, more environmentally conscious. These are important values, important things that our politics need to embrace, and we need to consider it. I raise these issues here because, after all, this is a gospel concert. So, there are those who have used the political stage primarily to bring down people, thinking that popularity can be earned through profanity. But I say to you, as I have written to my political party to say, we are not in a race to the gutter. It is said that the General Secretary of the opposing party has said that if we go low, they go lower. We don't join that. We are not into that. No, we can't do that. The Jamaica Labour Party does not and will not trade the dignity of the people for denigration and disgrace. No, we are not going to do that. We must be guided by Psalms 19, verse 14. Let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Oh. We have a tendency to believe that word is wind. In today's world, wind is energy. So word is not an ineffectual thing. Word shapes minds. Words guide our hearts. Words signal what kind of leadership we have. So, my fellow Jamaicans, we are also living in a time when truth is being sacrificed at the altar. Lies, half-truths are being spread by the opposition, not just in the heat of a campaign, but as part of a sustained strategy to mislead and confuse. And I want to point that out to you tonight, that not everything you hear in social media, not everything you hear in the newspapers, on the radio, and certainly on the opposition platform is true. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. But they that deal in truth are his delight. We as the government, we have an obligation to deal in truth. And we have set standards for our public communication with our social media, and anything that we put out as a government, as far as possible, must be true. We're not going to craft anything to mislead or twist anything for popularity. We have an obligation to give you, the people of this country, the truth so that you can make the right decisions. And we can do this because we believe and we know that we have the truth on our side. We have a record of performance that speaks for itself. But we also have plans that will speak even louder. Because when you look at what we perform, what we have done, what we have achieved, and you take the plans, you can say, yes, I can have faith in what the Jamaica Labour Party tells us it is going to do. I can believe what the Jamaica Labour Party says because the Jamaica Labour Party has delivered for the people of Jamaica. You know what faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. You can have faith in the Jamaica Labour Party because we have provided the substance, the delivery. We have cut the national debt in half. You have gone 10 budgets and you don't have to go in your pocket and pay any new taxes. Never happened before in the history of this country. Unemployment was at 13% when we took it over. Unemployment is now at 3%. The biggest problem now is to get those youngsters who are unskilled, to get them skills and certification so we can get that remaining 20,000 people in the population who are not employed into jobs. And it is not that there isn't any jobs. We just need to get them skilled. That wasn't the situation before. You know, when I took over as Prime Minister, the murder rate per 100,000 reached as high as about 49 per 100,000. You know what the murder rate is today? If you were to annualize it, the murder rate would be somewhere between 20 and 25 per 100,000. We have cut it in half. What people believe couldn't happen and would never happen, this government has delivered it. You know, there was a time when we used to say that there are certain communities that hot. Certain communities, you can't even go there because gangs control them. And we put in a program called the Zones of Special Operations. We had 20 communities on the list where the murder rates in those communities were so high, over and beyond the average for the country. People who lived in those communities felt unsafe. And we put in the zones of special operations now in 7 of those 20 communities. And I want you to think for a moment. Name me one community now that you could consider it hot. Just think. Just stop and think. I'll leave you with that one. Just think. You know, I could go on and on and on and on and on with all kinds of things that we have done. But I want to talk to you briefly about housing. And I want to use housing to explain to you why good government matters. When you can't attack the obvious success you employ a strategy of distraction. So they can't quarrel with the figures that murders have been cut in half, essentially, the murder rate cut in half. So they start to say, it's not the government do it. And they start to say that because the argument that they want to put in your head is that government doesn't matter. In other words, the achievements of the Jamaica Labour Party government, which I administer on your behalf, was not as a result of the Jamaica Labour Party government. That is what they want to put in your head. So they want to say government doesn't matter. Yet they want to become government. And yet they are promising you all kinds of things that they are going to do when they become government. But if you were to compare record for record, you would see that we outpace them in every category. But let's put aside record now. And let's look at the substance of what is promised. I gather that a certain man of Chaka Chaka notoriety went into Portland and was being taken around. And the issue of housing probably came up. And I don't know who told him that it would have been a wise decision to go and disturb a civil works embankment of sand that is there for the protection of the river. The sand in the river is there for a purpose, you know. And the sand by the side is there for a purpose. But the notion that was publicized as a wise idea was that they would move the sand and dump it somewhere, and then that would be used to build your house on. But you know, Matthew 7:24 tells us, therefore, whosoever heareth these words, these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine, and doth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Now, I understand the exigencies of a campaign, you know. When you're on the campaign trail, people pull you everywhere and tell you this and they show you that. And you are inclined to say, yes, man, yes, man. But you see, it takes time and experience and sobriety and a certain strength too, to be able to say to your followers, maybe this doesn't make sense. And there are a lot of policies that are being put now in the public domain that if they are properly interrogated, and one of the shortcomings is that, you know, there is not really much interrogation of the policies that are put out. But if you were to interrogate some of the policies, you would see that it don't make sense to take sand out of river to dump up land to build on. But a lot of people hear that and say, yes, yes, of course. Good government matters. Good government matters. So it is a plan to take up billions of dollars to give a subsidy to a certain segment of the population for a down payment on the house. Now, I am sympathetic with the need to provide Jamaicans with support to achieve their housing needs. I am very sympathetic to that. However, you have to be careful that you can't give people money to buy a house when there are no houses. Because the more money that people have to buy a house, and if there are no houses, the price of the house go up. So the real problem is not so much the money availability to buy the house. Good government strategy must also focus on how to build more houses. And that is what this administration has been doing. How to increase the number of houses in Jamaica. We estimate that there is a shortage of about 150,000 new housing solutions in Jamaica. In the last election, we committed that we would build 70,000 new houses. And we are well on our way to accomplishing these 70,000 new houses. And I just want to point it out to you. The NHT committed to build 43,000 of that 70,000. We have under construction, based upon the last figures I have, they might be a little bit dated, but we'll give you the updated figures. Under construction, we have 8,350 housing units approximately being constructed all across Jamaica. Every day you see me cutting a ribbon or breaking a ground or doing something about housing. Under award of contract, we have 7,700. For negotiations and procurement, meaning that we're going to go now to get a contractor to build them, we have 12,200. In the planning phase, meaning that the architects are designing and the urban planners and the engineers, we have 10,598. And on a daily basis, we are issuing build-and-own land loans, and we have done about 1,800 of those. So in total, the NHT has under construction or in planning 40,600 housing units in addition to what they have already built over the last 4 years. So the NHT is well on track for delivering the 70,000, there 43,000 out of that 70,000. The HAJ has been tasked with delivering 15,000 houses, and they are seeing their way to 8,000 of those. I went to look at one of those housing schemes called Edmund Ridge. Lovely housing development in St. James. And then there is the Bernard Lodge, Greater Bernard Lodge development. Some of you may not know it, but those of you who live in St. Catherine, you should take a time to go over there and see it. Wonderful thing happening over there. That will deliver between 10 and 15,000 housing solutions. And if you go over there already, you will see the beautiful houses that are being built. So when you take all of that together, in addition to what we are doing under social housing, the government is keeping its promise to build 70,000 new housing, putting them on the market rapidly so that every Jamaican can get a house that they deserve. But we're not stopping there. We shall shortly announce the next phase of housing development, which will help us to reach the 150,000 mark. So I will be announcing another 60,000 new houses to be built coming in the next term. And we are well on our way with that. And I want to tell you that we're not building a house on infirm ground. We have put together an enterprise team of sort to start work on what we call the Greater Innswood Development Plan. The Greater Innswood Development Plan will start in the St. John's Road area. It will take in housing developments like Naysbury Grove, Silver Sun, Kitson Town, and it will come down the hill, coming right into areas of Whole Harbour. We have already, through the NHD, started the process of acquiring lands from the Sugar Company of Jamaica, and we are looking for new lands because this area is now going to become the new center for housing development in St. Catherine. It will deliver anywhere between 10 and 15,000 houses. And already, persons have applications in place, and some applications have been approved. So that project will begin. So I say to all Jamaicans, and in particular Jamaicans in St. Catherine, watch out for more housing in this parish. Housing that will be affordable for all Jamaicans. But it's not just housing. I had a word with Minister Tufton a while ago. And there is something that the people of St. Catherine should know. In Whole Harbour, we have a health center which we are going to be spending $700 million on. In St. Jago, we have a health center there. We are spending $650 million on that health center. And Portmore, we're going to build a new health center, which will be almost like a hospital. We're spending $650 million on that. But what I'm particularly happy about, which all of you should be aware, the Spanish Town Hospital, where no significant work has happened on that hospital for ages. Your government found it possible to spend $40 million to build a new wing at the Spanish Town Hospital. I can tell you without any fear, without any question, that I was born at the Spanish Town Hospital. And you can check that if you want. I can provide the certification. The Spanish Town Hospital is the main source of tertiary medical care in this parish. And I hear the complaints. People call me regularly about issues to do with quality of service, quality of infrastructure, waiting time, all kinds of issues. I am confident that with the new wing, which will have new equipment, greater bed space, and greater medical attention, that the quality of healthcare in this parish will be improved. And that is what government is about. That is what governments must do. And so I am confident that we have done the work. We can show the evidence and the substance of the things that you want, and therefore you can have faith in this government. So it is only left for me now to say to you who are gathered and those who are listening that you have a choice. You can choose chaka chaka, or you can choose order. You can choose a promise, or you can choose delivery and performance. You can choose bad mind. You know, you see what is happening with the school buses. If that is not the ultimate of bad mind, I don't know what is. But it is nothing new. It is nothing new. You know, when the NIS was being proposed, the PMP opposed it. And they call it sin. And look at it today. Nothing new. So we are not fazed by that. So you have a choice to make. And I think we have provided you with the logical arguments. We have provided you with the reason. And all that we ask you to do is choose wisely. Choose what is best for you. Choose what is best for your community. Choose what is best for Jamaica. Choose the Jamaica Labour Party. God bless your labor rights. Travel home safely, and I will see you again at the next event.
Choose Jamaica for our prosperity. Choose Jamaica. This is what it really means. Choose Jamaica.